All right, my love. So, a big warm welcome to your welcome initiation call today, which, oh my goodness, what a journey. What a journey it has been so far, my love. It is such a joy, such an honor to continue this journey together. It's been quite the journey, that we've been on so far to arrive in this space. And it feels like a real gift to, yeah, be leading into this space together today and really sensing into how are we both arriving, in our lives, in our businesses right now. How are we giving ourselves permission to arrive as we are? And how can we hold the vision within all of that, within all of the ups and downs of life? How can we stay rooted and devoted to what our wants are, what our desires are for the times to come? And so, for the ladies that are tuning in and receiving this beautiful sharing today, myself and the lovely Charli are here to celebrate Charli leaning into your embodied business journey, the mentorship, which is so exciting to welcome you onto this journey that we're about to embark on together. And today's a real opportunity for us to really start to gently plant some seeds. And so you're going to be hearing a lot more from me and Charli over the coming months in the most beautifully nourishing ways. We're going to be sharing a lot more about, where you've been, Charli, kind of in terms of what your journey has been so far, your healing experiences, the different modalities that you've experienced on your own journey. There'll be a lot of opportunity for the ladies to really get to know you more over the coming months as well, particularly in May, as we anchor into that beautiful return to you. And we really anchor into who is Charli, not just as a story of like, this is who I am, this is where I've been, but who is Charli as the storyteller? Like, how is she feeling in her body? How is she feeling in her breath? Like, yeah, how does she want to feel, moving forward? So it's a real opportunity for us to really get to know each other on a more embodied level, as opposed to the words that are coming out of our mouths. And so, yeah, we're going to be journeying with Charli and some of the other gorgeous women that are embarking on their journey over the coming months as we really establish who are we as the storyteller first and foremost. Before we start sharing our story, yeah, how are we feeling in our breath? Like, what toll has the pain that we've experienced or the journey that we've been on, what toll has that maybe taken on our bodies? What have we noticed on this journey about what it really feels like to arrive with ourselves in our breath, within our voice, within our movement, all of these different ways that we can get to know one another on a deeper level. And then, yeah, we're going to be journeying into June as we really start to arrive as the storyteller with more presence. Then we're going to start to get to know your ladies' journeys, the real story around where we've all been. I'll be sharing more about mine as well. And then we're really going to start to really capture the essence as we move into July around integrating and alchemizing what's our pain been? What has the challenge been? What perhaps is still there as the daily challenge that we're faced with? And then what's the gold that we've discovered? What's the medicine? And how does the pain and the gold all weave together to then be our offering, not only to ourselves, but to the world, to others? And so I cannot wait to see what unfolds for you on this journey, my love. It gets to be so subtle and so powerful, and a big part of this mentorship, as we know, is around letting ourselves do the thing that we've been putting off. So, like, oh, I can't do this yet because I've not got enough practice with this, or I'm not going to do this yet because I'm not confident enough. And it's like, we're just going to start to lean in a really supportive way with our cups of tea. We're going to lean in and just start practicing the thing that we've been putting off, knowing that we don't have to do it alone. And so we're going to hold ourselves in that loving support, that loving accountability, all whilst really deepening into the embodiment of what does it mean not only to be a woman in business, but to embody it, to be the living, breathing embodiment of what we're sharing here. And so that's a little bit of a whistle stop tour for you ladies tuning in around why we're landing here today. And today isn't going to be such a deep dive into mine and Charlie's journeys and the pains, medicines, and the stories. That's all going to be yet to come. Today is an opportunity for us to get a little snapshot around how are we arriving right now at the start of this mentorship, at the start of the journey. How are we arriving in this space? What is it that really inspired us to lean in? For Charlie leaning in, what inspired you to really lean into the mentorship at this phase of your life? What inspired me to offer this mentorship at this phase, perhaps? And maybe to touch on some of the challenges, some of the obstacles, to actually leaning into a journey like this, how we might have navigated that. And then also an opportunity for us to really sense, like, oh, what is our hope for this journey ahead, whatever that may be. And so I'd love to invite us to take a breath, my love. Let's take a breath if that feels good. As we arrive, we might just begin to soften the shoulders. We might begin to soften the jaw, the forehead, and maybe even taking some wiggles in our body as we sense into the ground beneath us, the surface that we're sat on today. Almost as if we were feeling this beautiful support on the ground, the earth beneath the ground that we're sat on today. That real feeling of feeling held in this space exactly as we are. And as we perhaps place a hand onto our heart, our belly, or whatever feels good, we might get a little sense of what it truly means in this phase of our life, in this chapter, this season that we're moving with, as we reflect on our relationships, our work, our health, our family, our friends, community. This phase, this chapter of our spiritual journey, our personal discovery. We might get a sense of, oh, what would I really love to embody, not just in my business and in my offerings, but in life as a whole? How do I want to meet myself? How do I want to meet others? How do I want to meet life? Oh, what do I desire to return to time and time again? Ah, and just take in a nourishing breath as you let all of that settle, just noticing how your breath is in this moment, however that may be. We might even invite in a gentle sway into the body. Ah. Mm. And taking a little or a big stretch, whatever feels nourishing, as we let the eyes wander around the space today. Beautiful. And yeah, Charlie, my love, with the short space of time that we have together today, it might be less of a kind of like podcast kind of back and forth question. It might be more of a opening up a space, opening up a space to really feel into, yeah, what season of life would you say you're in right now? What chapter of life, of work, relationship, and business? Where are you at right now?
Um, I'm feeling into how I feel rather than all of the words that want to come out. Um, I'm in a transition phase, so I'm moving areas soon, and with my work, it's not really what I want to do. So yeah, I'm feeling like it's time for a big change, and that's not just in my house move, but also in my job, and I'm feeling like I need to do something that's more aligned with me, that I'm passionate about, rather than my current job where I'm counting down the minutes until the day ends.
Mm, yeah,
Mm.
I love that. Love that you dropped into the feeling. And yeah, I'm sure many can relate to that feeling of counting down and really desiring something that feels more aligned, more passionate, and really honoring you for being here in this transitional phase that you're in right now. I'm curious for you arriving in this space today, if you were to name the first things that come of like, oh, that's what I feel passionate about. That might be a feeling, it might be something that lights you up, something that brings you joy, whether that's being out in nature by the sea, whether it's dancing, whether it's being in community. What really brings you a sense of, oh, mm, that's what I'm desiring?
Being in community,
Mm,
and as I envisioned it, I just felt like tingly and warm, and yeah, really nice to
mm,
be around like-minded people. Mm.
yeah. And I'm curious for you, my love, what feels so important about that? In terms of that tingly warmth feeling, being around like-minded people, as you reflect on your journey, why does that feel important in your heart?
It helps me to feel like I can be myself more, and to be vulnerable, and um, be met with compassion and non-judgment. Um, yeah, where I currently work, I don't always feel that, and it can get um, a little toxic in the workplace, and a lot of character and ego. So yeah, that's quite important to me.
Yeah, I love that. I love the values that you're bringing in there, that you're anchoring back into what feels good for you, in the space. You want to be met with compassion, you want to be able to be vulnerable, authentic. And I'm curious, why does this feel like the right time for you, both in your personal life to continue to receive more of that for you, and why does it feel like something that you feel passionately about sharing with others? What is it about now?
I think it feels like the right time, because over the last couple of years I've been on quite a big healing journey, and there's been a lot of ups and downs, and now I feel like I'm at the point where I can share some of that with other people, and really help other people to come back to themselves, come out of the busy mind and into the body. Um, yeah, I feel like I'm a little bit more steady now in my healing journey, rather than the big chaotic time that I had, where that was my main priority. So yeah, it feels like a bit more stable now.
Yeah, I love that. And that beautiful acknowledgement of like, yeah, it feels a bit more stable. And what we were talking about before, this call today, we were very much leaning into that humanness, weren't we? That like I'm still journeying with all my stuff, you're still journeying with yours. And it's like, oh, how does it all, yeah, get to exist in this space, so that we can bust that myth of having to have everything healed or figured out before we can start to share what it is that we're passionate about.
Mm.
And I'm curious for you, my love, if maybe you could share a little bit today. Of course, we'll be going into this more over the coming months. What has it really meant for you if you reflect on your journey through the healing, through the coming back into your body, finding more stability? What has that really meant for you? What has it supported you, given where you might have been in the challenge and in the very real pain that we experience, in our lives? What has it really meant for you to receive that support? And what has that support looked like, perhaps?
Um, I think it's helped me to find the person who I really am without all of the masking and the behaviors that I used to have, and that still come up from time to time, because obviously healing is a journey, and the support's really helped me to see things in other perspectives that I may not have seen before. And I've had my embodiment journey with you, and I've had therapy, and both of those have been absolutely amazing. The therapy to see things from a mindset point of view, and then something was still missing, and then I had my embodiment journey with you, and that's when I was really like, okay, this is how I feel, rather than going off into the story all the time. So yeah, both of those support have been huge in helping me to get to where I am now.
Love that. I love that. And I know you've mentioned as in some beautiful journeys that you've been on with the therapy and with the coaching. And there's also some modalities that you are very passionate about, with the things that you've experienced. I'm curious if you want to share, yeah, a little bit about things that you've leaned into, whether that's a training or whether it's been a retreat, or whether like what parts of your healing have like really ignited something of a curiosity or a passion within you.
Um, Gosh, there's been so many. um, I went to I went to Bali for a little while, and I learned a lot of restorative stuff there, so restorative yoga and coming into the breath, and that really, really helped me to come into the present moment. That's been absolutely huge for me. Um, I've learned a lot about releasing stress from the physical body with movement. Um, and I wouldn't have ever thought that that would make a difference, but it's made a huge, huge difference. There's a lot of different ways that we can release the actual tension when we might be going through our day and we're feeling a bit stiff and tight, and just to be able to release that, it just feels like a huge release. So that's been great. And qigong has really helped me. Has been one of my favorite practices. At first I was a little bit in my ego about it, and I was like, how could this help? I'm just doing some movements, but it really helps to slow down. So when you're doing those slow movements, your mind follows, and there's just stillness. And yeah, obviously it's a practice, but if you move your body in those slow ways, the mind just automatically follows. So that's been huge for me as well.
Oh, I love that. I could bask in that all day, just listening about that all day. It's so gorgeous. And Yeah, I'm curious, my love, with this. I could really feel the essence of what you were sharing around like the returning to the body, the breath, the stillness, the movement, this real returning to you, noticing where there's the masks that we all, carry from time to time, and this real returning to the felt sense of the body and this presence that you spoke of. What does that mean for you and for other women if we feel supported to be more in our bodies, to notice our breath, to be in more presence? What might that open up for you, for us? Yeah. To release stress from our bodies, what does that open up for us? What does that
I
mean?
just, when you say that, I just feel like all of this joy and just tingling feelings, because it means everything. Like for me, it's been life changing, and like if I look back on the past and how I used to feel so burnt out and stressed a lot of the time, and I look to now what these practices do for me, it just enables me to live a completely different life and have the tools to regulate and calm my nervous system down, when these emotions come up, when I might feel panic or stress or overwhelm. Just having those tools to hand, or those practices, um, it's just like a reset, like a reboot. Um, you're able to have more energy for things. Um, Instead of feeling burnt out all the time, you're able to be there for yourself, be there for other people. You're able to pursue more what you want to do, because you're not pouring from an empty cup anymore. You're refilling that energy when you bring your attention back to yourself. You slow yourself down. I think when you're so burnt out and stressed, you don't have the space to really do much else. Um, so yeah, it's for me, it's been life changing.
I feel full body tingles hearing you that, my love, because I've seen that journey that you've been on, that we continue to be on, and such a gift to see you devoting yourself to this presence, this really honoring of your emotion when it arises, as it does naturally as humans in our bodies, exploring ways that you can meet that emotion, that you can allow it to move with you and through you, through these practices. And I feel really passionately at the moment, everything that you're sharing, this real sense of how do we support the movement and the release of stress from our bodies, so that we're not like holding all of this tension and this pressure and this stagnancy in our body. And just like you said, it's like when we're releasing that and we're coming back into our presence, like, oh, we're welcoming in more joy, more of what we want from this life, rather than this like heavy load that we're carrying. And it
Mm.
feels like a real sense of empowerment, of like we get to choose what we're wanting to pour ourselves into, what we're wanting to receive, what we're wanting to receive from this life. And so it's such a gift to have you here, shining the torch, carrying the flame for this beautiful journey and this beautiful offering, for ourselves, for others, that are really yearning for this same desire to really mix things up a little bit, have a bit of a reset, feel more able and more capable to really regulate ourselves, to really meet ourselves. It's not that we're supposed to be regulated all the time. And yet it's like, how can we meet ourselves wherever we are on that humanness of life? And how can we journey with ourselves there, and to feel really empowered in our own leadership. So I've
Mm.
loved to share all about that. And I'm curious, yeah, if you were to name something that you're like, I want this moving forward, of like, this is what I'm calling in for myself as a journey through the next few months, be that in life, as a whole. What are you really desiring? Yeah, what are you really desiring to call in more of for yourself?
I'm desiring more courage, and more more joy, more courage and more joy. So yeah, I feel like I'm ready to get out of my comfort zone a little bit more. And that's definitely something that holds me back. And just to have more fun as well. Just to have more fun. I think that's really important. I think a lot of the time I can get so caught up in um, working on myself and healing and trying to think about ways that I can improve. But yeah, joy is something that I really, really need to give myself more of.
I love that. Yes, yes, to claiming what we're desiring, really love that. The courage, the joy, really allowing yourself to lean into your stretch zone, really letting in more whilst offering yourself this beautiful like presence in and regulation. It's like, oh, from that place, I get to decide what I want to lean into in a really intentional way to support that beautiful expansion and that beautiful receiving of what you're desiring. So that's so, so exciting. And I'm curious with the mentorship, my love, as we prepare to embark on this beautiful journey, which let's face it, as we embark on a embodied business mentorship, there's going to be space for all of us on that journey, not just us as the businesswoman, but us as, the woman in life, in relationships, the woman as an emotional, receiving, feeling being, we all of us gets to exist on this journey. And I'm curious as you lean into the next few months, what was it about the mentorship that really ignited something for you? Be that the connection, the accountability, the inspiration, the growth, the devotion. What was it that's like, oh, I'm really excited about that piece of the mentorship?
The accountability and the growth. Um, Accountability is huge, I think. In my personal life, I feel like I need it. Um, I have a tendency to procrastinate. And when I feel fearful about something, like, for example, showing up on social media or actually creating the business that I want, I can get stuck in the fear and maybe not take action. So accountability is a really big thing that I need. And and the growth, yeah. I mean, to have experience of somebody like you, Meg, who obviously I feel you're very inspiring. Yeah, somebody that's been through business and that knows stuff about it. That's also something that's put me off as well, like not knowing how to do this, not knowing how to create a business or hold space for people. So yeah, growth and accountability.
Exciting, exciting. I'm really celebrating you for offering yourself this, my love. It's not always easy. Like you said, when we're feeling like, oh, I feel a bit fearful about showing up on social media, or I'm not sure about X, Y, and Z, or I'm not feeling confident in holding space yet, all of these things could be a very real and understandable reason for us to stay held back or to kind of like procrastinate or stay in the avoidance or I'm just going to put that off for now and come back to it later, and then perhaps never come back to it. Or, if you're anything like me, it might stemmed out that procrastination over years, trying to explore business on our own and finding ourselves self-sabotaging and really facing these blocks alone, which, especially when it's a business that feels so close to our heart, that can be really challenging to really lean in, and to say, do you know what? It feels scary, it feels unknown. And yet I'm going to support myself to lean in and receive that accountability that I know is going to support that growth.
Mm.
And my level of accountability is always basked in love. It's not that yeah, other forms of accountability that we might have experienced before that might have felt a little bit intense or pressured, in other settings perhaps. And so this is what the embodied piece is all about. How do we hold ourselves in devotion? How do we anchor into a loving, deep seed of intention and also meet ourselves with compassion in our humanness? So that there's a deeply rooted intention that's really holding us on that forward motion. I love that word, motion, that forward motion, and how do we momentum and motion, that's what I was blending together. We hold ourselves in that beautiful momentum with that aligned action, but really give ourselves flexibility within that to be human, because what I found in my own journey is that when I hold myself to such a rigid standard, what that can do is it can essentially negate my humanness. It pushes aside, well, this is what I'm really feeling today, but I have to push that part of me down to try and do this thing that I don't really want to do right now. And then it leads in this inner conflict. And so I just end up procrastinating or self-sabotaging and not doing the thing. So it's like, how can we become like a beautiful river, where we've got the steady bank, that beautiful anchor of accountability. And yet, how do we allow the beautiful feminine flow of energy to move through that intention in a way that feels alive in the moment? So
Mm.
I'm really honoring you for leaning in. And I'm curious, yeah, as we start to gently close this beautiful conversation today, what would you say was the biggest obstacle for you as you were leaning in? Was it the confidence piece? Was it the fear? Was it the financial aspect, the practical, energetic? What kind of blocks were coming up for you?
Confidence.
Mm,
Yeah. Um, Definitely. There's a lot of fear around actually doing what I want to do. I have a vision of it in my head, but actually doing it is another another thing, it just feels too scary. But I know I can. I've got through things that I'm not comfortable with in the past. So just having that little bit of guidance to like hold my hand and bring me along is what I feel like I need.
I love that. And what do you feel supported you to really support yourself through that block of the, oh, I'm not sure if I'm confident for this journey ahead. I'm not sure, like, is the fear too much of leaning in? What really supported you to lean in, to really offer yourself this journey?
Just to notice the feeling, but not letting it consume me. So just reassuring myself that okay, it's going to be a little bit scary and it might not always be easy and you might not always want to do it, but when you do, you'll feel proud of yourself. You'll grow, you'll achieve things, and when I've done that in the past, it's true. Like I can start changing my belief that oh, it's too scary, I can't do it, and change that to well, actually, I can do it because I've proved to myself before that I can, even though it might be a little bit uncomfortable and I might feel a little anxious, but we can get through it.
Mm. Wow.
Mm,
So beautiful to feel you being in such presence with yourself, and so refreshing to hear you giving space for the fear, the part that feels fearful, of like, yeah, it's going to feel a bit scary at times. you know I don't know if you can relate to this, Charlie. On my journey into business, I so often see online, where we're encouraged to get rid of the fear, or like push through it,
yeah,
like ignore it, or like to banish it, to get rid of the anxiety, to get rid of the fear. And whilst the intention there is so beautifully loving a lot of the time to support people to really grow in other ways and create the change they desire, nothing has felt more profound on my journey, as you know, than when I can meet those parts of myself with a lot of compassion. When I
mm,
can, just as you so beautifully did and demonstrated there, of like, oh, it's okay. It's okay if
mm,
I feel a bit scary at times, and it's okay if I feel a bit anxious. And it's like, wow, meeting ourselves with that level of compassion, it's like we can take on the world.
yeah,
Wow, if we're meeting ourselves there, it's like we can show up in our fear, in our anxiety, we can still have the courage to show up, because it's like, hey, I'm embracing myself in all of me right now. And so it doesn't really matter what you say, it doesn't matter what other X, Y, and Z think, because I'm meeting all of me with so much love that I'm okay with where I'm at right now. I'm celebrating
Mm,
that right now. And that is powerful. Like it's a woman who is able to meet herself and embrace herself as she is, in my view, is a very powerful and wise woman.
agree.
Take on the world with the most beautiful, devoted love. And yeah, wow, really gorgeous. I love witnessing your process because I see how you hold yourself in that, and it's such a gift that the world so needs right now. My love, you are the living, breathing embodiment, the demonstration of what it means to hold ourselves through all of our humanness. So I'm really honoring you, and I'm curious to kind of wrap up. Yeah, I'm curious. Was there might not be at this stage. Is there any question that you wanted to ask me or anything that you were curious about in terms of the mentorship, starting the mentorship, the blocks, my own healing journey? Anything coming to mind that you think, actually, yeah, I'd love to know a bit about that. Recognizing that we've been on quite a few journeys, so you probably know a lot already.
I do have a question. What I'd love to know is how have you found navigating all of these blocks that come up through your own business? So, for example, when you might feel not feel like showing up, but you still have a business to run, or when you feel like you're going through something big in your personal life and you still have um, client calls and things like that. Um, how have you found that journey, and maybe any beliefs that have come up that you feel or may feel that you need to be a certain way to um, show up for these people? Like, if anything's come up around that.
Oof, I love that question. I absolutely love that. Thank you for offering that. I'm sure it's a question that many of us are sat with, and that many women ask themselves in business. How do we show up on the days that we don't want to? How do we show up when we're navigating some pretty difficult things in our own lives? And we had a beautiful conversation earlier today, didn't we, about one of the things I really, really love about what we're creating here is that, and what we've experienced in our relationship over the times that we've leaned in together, it's a real authenticity. I know how
Mm.
much we both value vulnerability, authenticity, and really being honest with, like, how am I arriving today? Without the mask, like how am I arriving? And for me, it's exactly what you beautifully shared. Then it's, how am I telling myself that I need to be in my business today? What am I needing? What's the actual truth of my experience right now? If I was being really honest with myself, this is how I'm feeling. Whether it's, yeah, there's some sadness there's some grief, there's some unsettledness, there's a fear. Yeah, maybe life feels a bit rocky, or like I'm moving through something within my personal life, my relationships, all of these very human aspects of us. And how do I then meet myself there and ask, what am I really needing right now? Because sometimes we do need to take some space, for ourselves. Sometimes it might be the most loving thing to say, do you know what? I need to clear my diary for the next few days, and I need to take some time to integrate, to be in nature, to really access my own resources. And can I meet myself with compassion there? Can I really recognize that part of me that's like, you're failing, or like you've not done X, Y, and Z? And can I notice that? And can I meet myself just as you've done today? Can I meet myself with compassion? And can that be okay? Can I really embody my core values of compassion and non-judgment? Can I meet myself there first and foremost? And then at other days, like what we touched on today, it's like, what would be the most loving thing And for me, in many moments of my life right now and in my vision, the most loving thing is for me to stay devoted to this vision. And for me, my devotion to this vision is to really allow space for all of us, allow space for our humanness in our visions, in our businesses, so that we can notice I'm not feeling great today. And I'm telling myself that I should be enthusiastic and I should be upbeat and bouncy and I should be like having all my ducks in a row and I should have all of my shit together, and can I notice how I'm actually feeling if I'm being honest with myself? And can I notice who I'm telling myself I need to be? And this is what we start to explore in the mentorship is who am I as the storyteller in the truth of how I'm actually feeling right now? And what story am I telling myself about who I need to be? And that's where we often find the disconnect. And then this is, as we know, where the procrastination, the imposter syndrome comes in of like, I'm showing up in this way, but I'm actually feeling really crap right now. And so we start to feel like we're not actually being truthful. And then we start to feel, oh, I'm not actually practicing what I'm offering. I'm not feeling what I'm offering. And so that keeps us in that cycle of when we're showing up, we're not really feeling it. We're not really trusting or believing in what we're sharing. And that, as we know, comes across, and we then start to doubt what it is that we're actually offering. We start to doubt ourselves. And so this is why I feel so deeply passionate about embodying our fullness in our businesses so that on days like today, I can arrive with you and I can be like, do you know what, Charli? Like it's been a tough week. I've been navigating through some stuff in my own inner world, within my relationships and within life. And I've been sat with a lot of feelings and a lot of emotions moving through and a lot of uncertainty. And what felt most loving for me today was to really anchor back into, can I let myself lean in as I am so that I can meet you as you are, and we can really give space for it all. And for me, that's been the most profound on continuing to build momentum with my vision, continuing to be visible no matter how I'm telling myself I need to be, can I arrive as I am? And that on my journey of business has been the medicine because that's what other women relate to. It's like, oh, like she's not got all of her shit together. Like she's actually like in the depths of grief right now, or she's like asking like, where's it all headed? And she's feeling uncertain as well at times. And then other times she's feeling really passionate and fiery. And it's like, oh, this is exactly what my vision for She Embraces It All is about. How can we pave a new way in business where we get to embrace the depths of our wholeness, our feminine expression, the highs, the lows, everything in between, the light, the shadow. How can we create space where it all gets to exist and we anchor into our deeper, healthy masculine devotion? And this is what I feel the mentorship offers. It's that beautiful, anchored, masculine holding that so many of us as women, when we're trying to be really feminine in our businesses, we're trying to express ourselves in a way that feels really connected to our emotions, to our body. It's like, how can we support ourselves with that beautiful, devoted, anchored accountability, community, structure, holding, which then is only going to support the flow of our feminine expression. It's like the river again. How can we offer ourselves the river bank so trust that that is enough. I'm not sure what happened there, my love.
Yeah, froze for a little while. So, but you're
No,
back now.
we're back. Yeah, that is a long-winded answer to your question around really anchoring into, yeah, how can we really give ourselves permission to be as we are, to really liberate ourselves in our fullness,
Mhm.
thrive in our,
Yeah,
in that place, trusting that that's the medicine, you know.
yeah. And I
Yes.
love that because I think to others as well, it seems really authentic, especially in my eyes anyway. I think that's why I really liked your style, and I just thought, oh yeah, she's really like real, you know. And often when I've followed other mentors, I've kind of felt like I'm not good enough, or like I'm having all these wobbles maybe, and they're not. So that's what I need to be able to have my own business and show up. And then it's kind of felt unachievable. So yeah, absolutely love what you're saying. It's just feel like if you be authentic, other people can relate as well. So
I
yeah.
love that. Here's to welcoming in all of the wobbles in business.
Mm.
I love that. That's so beautiful. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, my love. It's something that I feel we really share. You know, we really share as a deep devotion, as a deep appreciation when we can be authentic and vulnerable together and bring our humanness in. Because then, you know, like you said, if we're constantly met with, I'm not good enough, I should be where they're at, why am I wobbling and they're not? What's wrong with me? It just keeps us in this real sense of self-doubt, of wanting to hide away, of not feeling met,
Mm.
you know, not feeling fully met and accepted as we are. And for me on my journey, when I feel deeply met and honored and celebrated for where I'm at, and to trust the wisdom in that, that's when I feel safe to move forward. That's when I'm like, oh, she sees me, she gets me, she is meeting me with love without any conditions. She's meeting me where I'm at, and that's okay. Now I feel safe to thrive and to bloom and to grow. If I'm being met with a judgment of like, why are you where you are? Because you should be here, it just causes me to contract and move away, you know, and want to hide. So, yeah, I'm really excited for us to really pave a way forward where we get to embrace the wobbles and our humanness. Yeah, so,
Yeah.
so beautiful, my love. And to wrap up, I am curious as we lean into, yeah, your beautiful passion for stress relief, you know, for really coming back into our body, coming back into this real sense of presence with self, being able to soothe and regulate ourselves, being able to welcome in more courage, more joy. I'm curious, what would you love, say in like 3 to 4 months' time, as we get towards like August, July, August, September time? What would you love to be leaning into in your vision for your business? Is it collaboration, hopping on and offering a workshop together? Is it doing more Instagram lives together? Is it really setting up a different part of your vision, getting the structures in place? Is it really feeling confident within yourself and offering a particular session? Where would you love to be in a few months' time?
I'd love to be I'd love to be offering my classes. I'd love to be actively
Mm.
showing people what I love, and having maybe like a regular slot or regular class. Absolutely would love to do Instagram lives and workshops. I do feel fear as I'm saying this, but um, yeah, this is what I'd like to do, even though I don't feel like right now I can like can't really see myself in that stage, if you know what I mean. But I know that I can, and that I can work towards it.
Oh, I love that. I can. I know that I can. And it's like, yeah, I'm naming, I'm here. It feels scary, it feels edgy, and I'm going to name it anyway. Really, really
Mm.
celebrating you. And yeah, as a closing, my love, what do you feel? You're going to be anchoring back into devotion. What are you devoting yourself to on this journey ahead? Something that you want to return to meet yourself with, to anchor back into time and time again.
I think my being in my body and grounding. Yeah, so when all of these beliefs and fears come up, um, I can just bring myself back and just feel like I'm here. It's okay. I'm here. I'm fine. Yeah, and just feel into myself.
Wow, so beautiful. Anchoring back into self, anchoring back into that beautiful embodied presence and awareness. It feels like a steady anchor, a steady center for you to return to through the highs and the lows and everything in between. So I'm really honoring you within that, my love. So gorgeous. How does that feel to leave that there, my love? How does it feel to, yeah, to start to lean into this journey together and, yeah, to leave that there for today?
Yeah, good. It feels exciting. It feels a bit of a mixture of emotions, bit of excitement, bit of fear. But no, it feels good. It feels like what I want. And yeah, amazing. Thank you.
So beautiful. Honoring the fear, honoring the excitement, everything in between. It is so welcome. So, so welcome. All of you is welcome on this journey, my love. And yeah, it's only just the beginning. So I'm so excited to see what unfolds as we start to move in to the coming months, the coming journey together. And we're going to be leaning in this May. And I'm curious, yeah, if any ladies would love to follow your journey, and would really love to follow the fear, the excitement, the courage, the joy, the practicing as we come together in collaboration over the coming months. Where can they find you? Where can they stay connected?
So I'm on Instagram. It's my account is Come Heal With Me 111. So a bit like Come Dine With Me, but Come Heal With Me 111.
Oh, that's so beautiful. I've not made that connection before. Come down with me. Come here with me. I love that. Feels so nourishing. I've got an image of like rather than everyone gathering around a table for come down with me, it's like I can just imagine us all like in circle holding hands, like come here with me. That's so beautiful. I love that. So yes, head on over to Charlie's page, come heal with me 111. I'm going to be sharing lots around Charlie's journey on my story. We'll be collaborating together a lot over the coming months, as well as some of the other gorgeous women that are leaning into this beautiful journey ahead. If you are watching this back, my loves, and interested, we're going to be having different waves. So Charlie and some of the other women are going to be leaning in this May as we really deepen into the beautiful return to you this May. We're going to really get to know the storyteller before we lean into your story. We're really going to be leaning into the embodiment of before we even touch on the story. Who are we as the storyteller? How are we holding ourselves? How is our breath? What tone of voice? Are we conveying in different moments? How are we really taking up space or not taking up space in the world, in our offerings, in our presence? All of these different indications of what's alive within our experience before we even touch on the story. And then we're going to be deepening into the actual story of us. Where have we been? What's the pain? What's the gold that we've found? What is the depth of our journey? If we were to really share, this is where we've been, this is what I feel so passionate about. How can we weave in the embodiment of us as the storyteller as we convey our story in a way that perhaps we've never shared it before? So there's going to be authenticity, there's going to be vulnerability, there's going to be courage, there's going to be everything in between. And then we're really going to anchor into July, which is the beautiful medicine, the integration as we lean into the void. So we start off with the beautiful return to you. We start to deepen into the descent to really give voice to the pain of where we've actually come from, where we've been. And then we lean into the void, which for some women, for some of us, it can be like, oh, for some humans, it's like, what happens in the void? Like the dark hole. And yet, as we know, the void is it's the birthplace of all creation. We all came from the dark womb, that beautiful portal of creation. So that's when we start to alchemize all of our journey into the most beautiful, gorgeous medicine that we're ready to share with others. there are going to be some women that are leaning in at a later stage. Some women have already reserved their place for September. Some of these ladies have already been in business for a while. So it might be that they've already really deepened into the return to you, the embodiment of the storyteller. They might have already journeyed in a lot of depth with the archetypes of the queen, with the lover, the mother, which we're going to be touching on. And so they'll be joining us in September for the reclamation. It's going to be a fiery reclamation. It's going to be a deeper leaning into who are we embodying as the creatrix? Who are we really moving forward with in all of our different parts? Which parts of ourselves are we reclaiming for the journey ahead? And so that's going to be a gorgeous amping up, so it might be that you ladies journeying together this May are really ready to then amp it up in September as we welcome in more women on this journey. We're going to be really reclaiming as we start to lean into what is our creation, what is our signature creation, our signature offering that brings the very essence of us into our being, so that we can be in the fullness of us and for that to be the medicine rather than trying to become, change, shapeshift, mold ourselves into something else. It's like, what if we were the medicine? And so I'm so excited. We have got some ladies that have already started leaning into September and some other ladies that might want to join us this May. So you can reach out to me, to Charli, like just start connecting with us, ask conversations, and yeah, ask curiosities. What are you envisioning that the mentorship could offer to you? You might relate to Charli that's like, I need the accountability piece, to build in that beautiful momentum moving forward. You might relate to that real desire to want to have that embodied mentorship support where all of you is welcome. You get to really arrive as you are and you get to continue to birth your business from that place, so that we can start to nurture these parts of us that naturally feel anxious at times, or the parts that naturally feel fearful and want to procrastinate. And so I cannot wait to lean in. Feel free to get in touch to ask any questions. And for now, I would love to invite myself and Charli and any of you ladies tuning in. Let's take a breath. Let's take a breath to let all of that settle today. We might want to start to deepen into our breath, maybe even letting the breath leave the mouth on the exhale. Even for this moment, start to let all of the words settle, almost as if we're imagining all of the words start to melt from the top of our head, from the crown, melting all the way down the forehead, the jaw, the shoulders. Almost as if all of the words today were starting to melt away and wash down towards the ground, trusting that we can offer some of this beautiful exploration back to the earth today, trusting that she can not only hold our stories, but she can hold all of us. And so really tapping into that support of the ground beneath us, feeling into the points of contact that our body's making with the surface that's supporting us, that's holding us today. And seeing just for a moment how it might be to really allow ourselves to receive that support that's available to us right now. Almost as if we were trusting that we could really surrender the full weight of our body, even that little bit more, really trusting that we're held in this moment, held in this space. And to really soften into our heart spaces as we envision what a world, as we envision what our lives, our relationships, our businesses might be like if all of us was not only welcome, but was the very medicine that's needed. Oh. Maybe taking a moment to come into contact with yourself in a way that feels beautifully loving. Maybe that's a little squeeze of the shoulders, maybe a little hug or a big hug, a gentle rocking of the body as you really sense into the left and the right side of the sitting bones. And maybe taking a little or a big stretch as we blink the eyes open and closed a few times. Beautiful. And gently coming back to the screen whenever we feel ready. Gorgeous, gorgeous. Charli, my love, thank you so much for your openness, for your presence, for your heart, for being so beautifully authentic with all of you. You know, the excitement, the fear, everything in between. You know, it's such a blessing to really receive you as you are and to feel the medicine, to witness how you hold yourself. It's so gorgeous. And I'm so grateful that we'll be leaning into this journey together. I'm so excited for what's to come. And yeah, I would love to hear how you're leaving this space feeling today, my love, in a word, a phrase, a feeling.
I'm leaving this space feeling excited for what's to come.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank
All right.
you.
So myself and Charli are going to have a little check-in out. I'm going to pause the recording there, my loves. So yes, look forward to connecting with some of you other ladies. For any of you ladies that this resonates with, I can't wait to really feel into what this journey may mean for you in this chapter, this season of you, of life, of business, of your heart-led vision. All right, my love, so much love, and we will see you soon. Ciao, ciao.